All right, so here we go. We've begin recording, and welcome to the first episode of the I Hate the Antichrist podcast. I'm your host, Aoeui. Here I have with me my first guest, Tettsui 77 himself, off of just starting a fresh suspension this morning. How's it going, bud?
I'm chilling, man. Fucking yeah. I'm relatively sober for a podcast.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's great having you on. So, what happened that got you fucked over by Big Man Jack this time?
uh yeah, I don't know. So, I mean, what I actually got suspended for was calling someone a faggot like on Friday.
Classic Tet. Okay.
Yeah. Um so yeah, I imagine some fucking like boomer got upset at something I posted and like went through looking for shit to report.
Oh
Cuz the
yeah.
guy I said that to didn't report me. He like kept going back and forth with me like all day.
Oh yeah, they'll do that. They'll do that.
So,
Well, the semi cool ones, the ones aren't too big of chodes.
yeah, I don't, for all I know he like woke up this morning fucking pissed about it. So, I don't
Could
I don't
have.
remember this dude's name though, so whatever. If it was you, you got me.
Well, you got. So what's the plan for the future? Are you gonna make another Twitter as soon as you figure out how to make another one without getting banned?
I don't know. We'll see. Um, so like I did what I've been doing the other times I got banned
Hmm.
and got caught for ban evasion like instantly.
Yikes!
Yeah. So I mean, dude, I even paid like I've been like paying $10 for a new Google Voice number. I
They're
did
gonna
that.
they just they've
Yeah,
just
I did
banned
that
the
again
word tit.
today, and yeah, yeah. I like made the new account with the phone number. Everything was like okay. Set my name as Tet and got a ban evasion.
Wow, just instantly.
Yeah,
Yikes! Well, we gotta find a method to get you back on. Maybe somebody else can make an account and give you the login or something.
yeah, or like somebody else have a phone number on a different Google account. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, what I'm doing isn't working
Well,
anymore.
we're gonna coordinate with the boys. We're going to aid and abet this big ban evasion for yet another time. All right. So the theme of the episode is thin blue snakes. We're going to talk about how much you in particular, because I know this is your personal gree is libertarian conservative types who back the government and or back the cops.
Yeah, I mean, there's far more people than like back the cops or the government or whatever are just okay with like cops being part of like I don't know your liberty Twitter circle or the movement or whatever. And yeah, that's fucked. Like there's not a cop that's actually on your side, dude. Like either you're retarded or the cop is, and like he might actually think that he's like on your side. But when it comes down to it, he's gonna do whatever he needs to do for a paycheck, like always.
Yep. Yep.
So
Absolutely. I mean, that's all anybody is good for when you're a wage slave. That's all the customer or the client or the suspect or whoever you're talking to is good for when you're any sort of wage slave. Even if you're making nice wages for the government, you're still going to be a slave and you're still going to treat other people like you're a slaver.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, I see a lot of them. Like you'll go to a store parking lot and you'll see a car that has the Gadsden sticker on the back, and then right next to it, it'll be a thin blue line sticker.
yeah. I actually haven't seen that in the wild, but I've definitely seen pictures of it. Um, I mean, I feel like those people aren't even necessarily libertarians. Like they might think of themselves as like conservatarians or they might not. Just like fucking every Trump rally and like definitely like on January 6th and shit, there's motherfuckers there with Gadsden flags. Yeah, and I mean like I doubt that those people consider themselves libertarians. Like you I could see a world where it's like, yeah, you're a libertarian, you're like, all right, I'm gonna vote Trump. Like I don't agree with that, but I'm not
Hmm.
gonna like hate you for that, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like I think it's stupid, but I
Mhm.
doubt the people who were like showing up like that for Trump or any sort of libertarians, except that fucking bitch that got shot, I guess. Like,
What a fucking brutal way to go.
yeah, sucks. But yeah, I mean, apparently she was like a libertarian party member. But
Huh.
yeah,
Well, fuck the party. We're the no parties party. We're
yeah,
against parties in our party.
yeah. I don't
Like, what the fuck are you talking
know.
about, dude? How the fuck does that make any sense? We're
Yeah,
we're the anti-organization organization.
yeah.
Like, okay, you want to organize, and how about you stick away from acting like an organization and start acting like you're a bunch of individuals who think for themselves, like your name is supposed to say.
I don't know, dude. I'm not a libertarian. I cannot speak for them.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but,
It's
but
so
yeah,
much better to be it's so much easier to be an anarchist. I don't feel like I have to hide any lies anymore.
yeah. I know what you mean. But there's definitely like a lot of people, man, who consider themselves anarchists. At least like on like Twitter, right? Like I don't know how many people like this you'll find in the wild, but like they think they're anarchists and say they are, and I don't necessarily agree with that in many cases.
Hmm.
Not that it matters, or I'm the fucking anarchy police, but um,
Anarchy police.
but yeah, there's like a lot of people who think they're anarchists, but like still really buy into like very specifically like LP
Yes.
messaging
Yes,
and
absolutely.
like ideas, and it's like clearly this shit doesn't work. I don't I don't know I don't know why you are clinging to these things,
I
but it's
don't
like
get the LP. Sorry, go on.
oh no no
I don't get the LP's message that they're trying to get out. I just don't understand it. It's so contradictory. It's like they're trying to play both sides like they are both sides, and instead of trying to be themselves.
yeah I don't know, man. Like yeah. It's like there was what's funny is like so I was actually thinking about deactivating Twitter anyway.
Hmm.
Um, just because like fucking Allie deactivated. She's like the main reason I go on there was to talk to her anyway.
Hmm.
So um, but like just like the other day, um, when just so many people kept talking about how the draft is slavery,
Yeah.
and like me and her both were posting about that. Like this is a really shit analogy to make.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly. Yeah.
because let's say that you're technically correct. Like people don't care. Like you're not going to win over anyone by likening signing up for some hypothetical draft that may not happen with like chattel slavery as it existed in this country, because that's what they're thinking of. If you
Yeah.
say something like slavery, you're saying that you know you get whipped for any
Disobedience.
minor fucking thing. You might be hanged for
Yeah.
learning to read. And it's like, yes, I understand that in the technical sense, what you're saying we're slaves, like in the Spoonerian fucking
In
argument.
the
I don't know.
broad
Anyway,
sense.
point is, it's like people just kept fucking reading. And actually, yeah, actually, the guy I called a faggot was one of them
Mm.
who, like, he had fucking black flag emojis in his name and, like,
Yikes.
was just throwing this fucking shit fit about moral objectivism. I was like, dude, you're a faggot.
Yeah, that combination is extremely yikes. Like
But
I don't get how anarchism and collectivism work together.
um, well,
Like
I don't know. I
it
mean,
just doesn't make sense.
I don't necessarily agree with you. Like, I feel like anarchy can take many forms, and there doesn't necessarily need to be a right one. And I don't think that the ancoms, right, like broadly speaking, are like fake or insincere.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because
Yeah,
that's
they
not
definitely
necessarily how
believe.
I would want to live.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't even say necessarily that this dude or these people were like getting into this collectivist thing. It's just like they're incapable of breaking from this like fucking little yellow book, so to speak, right?
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
like these libertarian arguments for and against things. And
Hmm.
it's like no one cares, dude. Y'all been doing this shit for what, like 50 years or whatever the fuck, I don't know, since the 70s. And fucking like just no one cares, man.
Yeah, half of these kids found out about libertarianism when they read about the bad guy in BioShock.
Yeah.
And that's what they want libertarianism to be. That's all they think that the future is going to be if libertarians win, and that's what they want to have. And they don't understand that if regular ass libertarians win, all it's going to happen is we're going to return to the 1920s, and all this is going to happen again in 100 years.
Yeah, best case.
Best case
But
scenario,
no, I
exactly.
mean, I never played BioShock, but the little I know about it, there probably are libertarians who are like the bad guy in that game.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Totally. But yeah, man.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. So, have you been doing anything interesting or cool lately that you'd like to share with the audience?
not really. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've just been working and like getting high. I like, I don't, I kind of started a new essay.
Okay.
I haven't really done anything on that in the past, I don't know, couple weeks. I might
Yeah, when
eventually
I
finish
read
it.
your thing on Post Right, I was pretty blown back that that came out of somebody from one of our groups. Our groups are normally pretty fucking retarded and are more geared towards making fun of people and mocking them in a way that makes them want to die and hurt their own soul. So when you come out with the fucking badass, full blown dialogue about your own personal ideation and how you follow it and why, it was pretty awesome. So this post right, let's talk about it a little bit.
All right, well, first off, I am also retarded. Um,
I'm sorry.
just to preface, I said first
Yeah.
off, I am also retarded.
Yeah, of course, of course.
So yeah,
Aren't we all?
just get that out the way. Um, yeah, I don't know, man.
How's it work? How's
Fucking
this post right bullshit work?
um,
Tell me, wise one.
yeah. No, I mean it's the to me what it's about, what the things in that essay are about is kind of looking critically at aspects of your attachment to like what it means to be right wing, right? And if
Yes.
that is helpful or reasonable for you anyway, uh, in many cases, I decided it's not. But also just kind of stripping the aspects that are not anarchist from that kind of worldview,
Yes.
which I don't think most people are really willing to do. Whether they consider themselves from who people who like get into like anarchism from like some various lib-right perspective or another, right? Whether
Hmm.
they call themselves an ANCAP or whatever, um, they're often not really willing to get rid of many of these trappings of being a right winger.
Yes.
I
Things
would
that
say that
they
in any meaningful sense, I'm not
mhm,
at this point in my life. Like that used to be important to me.
left
Um,
wing, right wing.
yeah, which yeah, I like totally thought that that was like the moral position.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. So I mean
But before
that's
you,
the summary
mhm,
of I guess that essay is about.
definitely, before you really discover about the real struggle always seems to be between those who desire liberty and those who already have a hold on authority. Um, the I forgot where I was going with that. Fuck,
Well,
I'm way too
I would
high.
say that the distinction is it kind of to me seems to come to this, which is
Hmm.
people who want that liberty to be a fundamental thing, like that everyone should partake in, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, like my liberty is useless and meaningless and empty and fucking soulless if there's slaves living next door.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Whereas, so there's that view, and then I would say that a lot of libertarians, and especially kind of this stop being poor, like post-libertarian type take that people have been putting out lately, where it's like, as long as you're okay and the government's leaving you alone, then that's fine. Like whatever else is going on, like just make it not have an effect on you. Which I can understand, like the merit in that argument, like, and they're not wrong necessarily, but um, like they're not wrong that that's a reasonable strategy, like for getting through life, like it is.
Hmm. Hmm.
But yeah, that's not what I'm about.
Yeah.
You know, like
There's a difference between a reasonable strategy for survival and a reasonable strategy for being a fucking human being, being a
yeah,
decent human being, not taking advantage of other people, not taking what is not owed to you from other people. Like what does Joe Biden have to do with my 17 an hour, at some fucking wage slave job? What does the Speaker of the House have to do with my sale of a 3D printed item online? They don't. They've done nothing other than maybe a thin veil of funding of discoveries that were underway anyway. And that funding just ended up taking more from the people than it gave to these projects in the first place.
I mean, yeah,
Like what the fuck do they have to do with it? Like why do they get any say in the matter? It's or any pay in the matter for that point, because it's all about the income. It's all about retaining their own power that they have. That's the only thing they give a shit about.
yeah. Um, it's like at various times in the development of states, right?
Hmm.
And even from like the or even um simple like prehistoric hierarchies, like a chiefdom, shit like
Hmm.
that. Like there have been times when those I'm trying to think of how to say this. There have been times when it was like a reciprocal thing, like when
Yes,
the people who farmed were in fact protected by the people who fight, and this
exactly.
seemed an amicable arrangement for the people involved, right?
Yeah,
But the thing, like, and I guess really what it comes down to is like we feel that it's not now an amicable arrangement, but most people
exactly.
do. Most people still, like, and you're not going to change their mind by telling them that they're slaves or whatever. Like, they like most people, um, and even if they hate the government, even if they think Trump won, even if whatever the fuck they're be, even if racism is a major problem, they're still more or less happy with the American arrangement
Yes,
or wherever the fuck they live. Like more people are overall happy with that arrangement than not. And also, I would say uh, most libertarians, like not so much people like we talk to, and not even like whatever other beef you may have with them. I wouldn't like not necessarily like Mises dudes even, but most libertarians think that the American arrangement is more or less acceptable, like could be reformed to be good.
yeah. Well,
I don't know,
any attempt to
like they don't.
reform it.
And we're totally not like talking about what the original topic was at all.
No,
If
no,
I don't
we're
think you
not.
mind,
But
but
that's okay. I
yeah,
don't. I like tangents. That's what podcasts are for, is being able to go on long tangents. I mean, it's
yeah.
it's
Well, I
a
can't
it's a
post on
crazy
Twitter,
world out
so
there.
this is
Exactly. Well, there's a lot out there when it comes to these conservatives and how much they think they support liberty with their actions, and they think that just because they're happy with the arrangement in and of itself for their own good, that's fine. If you're happy with it, I'm happy for you. You have fun being happy with it. But if I'm not happy with it, I shouldn't be forced by threat of violence to do it. And if I want to have a fucking machine gun, I shouldn't be forced at threat of violence to not.
well, yeah. I mean, I agree with you on that. And the thing is like there a lot of conservatives probably just with that statement that you said, a lot would be like, yeah, I agree with that, but they don't. They either don't understand or don't care how bad it really is.
Yeah, or where it's coming from. They don't understand the source of all of this is coming from the people who you're begging to save you, conservatives.
For the most part, yeah.
Like, there's this beautiful picture online. It's a picture of a road with a fucking one of those typical dot signs in front of it, and it says "Watch out for bike lane," and the dot sign is completely blocking the bike lane. That's government help. That's a perfect example of government help. Um,
Yeah.
So, what do you think is the worst thing that people, these thin blue snake types, what is you think is the worst negative effect that they end up having on the LP, on anarchist ideas, on libertarian ideas in general?
Uh man. Um just it it kind of makes it's one of many things that makes the idea of any sort of united like mass protest against anything, no matter how justified, impossible in this country,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
because everything is so politicized, and like you're kind of expected to I don't know, it's like not even that you're expected to divide down these lines, it's like people do it themselves now and they think it's their idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that
Um,
I would say that's the most damaging thing. And it's like uh there, obviously there's like a lot of leftists that I think are pretty trash, but I have a lot of leftist friends these days who I think are sincere people who are not, like I don't agree with them on everything,
yeah.
but they're not secret statists or some shit like that, right?
Exactly.
But
That's usually my
but
problem too.
those people are right to be distrustful of libertarians as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
There's
it's like I understand it
the snake is an
because
apt can be a very apt word for libertarians because they tend to have some very underhanded views sometimes.
yeah. I mean, what do you like? What do you mean in particular? Just
Well,
curious, like where you're going with that.
there's a lot of libertarians who pretend to be like to act like they're against the state, but here they are. You'll catch them on Twitter sometimes. They'll simp a cop. They will be happy or talk shit about somebody who fucking had a problem with a cop and got in a fight in a cop, and they'll be like, "Oh, shouldn't have run, shouldn't have
Oh yeah,
run." Yeah, like
or
fuck them.
the no, that was a good shoot.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was
Yeah, it's like
clean.
no,
That was clean. I saw it. It was clean.
there's no good shoot. Like the cop shouldn't have fucking been there.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah,
One
um,
of the most heartbreaking ones is the one where this dude gets into a rollover. The cop shows up. He like pops up out of the vehicle with his hands up first, and then the second he pops up, the cop just casually boom, pop, draw, pow, done. Like he's just gone. It's just happens, and this dude just got into like the worst car accident of his life. Throws his hands up, boom, taken out. Like what the
yeah,
hell?
yeah, yeah, that
There's
sucks.
there's a they tend to be allergic to the idea of vigilantism or vigilantism, which is something that I'm actually a huge proponent of, and not in the classical, there's the cartoon definition of anarchy, which is just a bunch of fucking guys in balaclavas and Molotov cocktails burning down the whole city. That's the classic cartoon view of anarchy. Well, there's a
Well,
classic
there's also nothing wrong
cartoon.
with that. For my official stance for the record, that's fine.
All right, thank you for the incredibly based opinion.
Yeah.
But there's there's a Jesus Christ. There's a similar view for God, what was the group I was just fucking talking about before you said
I
that?
don't know. You were talking about
Oh yeah,
vigilantism.
vigilantism. Yeah. So there's this idea that vigilantes are just fucking people seeking revenge for something that was done to them. And that
I mean,
isn't
it can be
necessarily
that.
what it can be. That, yeah, and it often takes that form in our day and age because it's a crime, and the only people who would dare do it are basically people doing it for themselves or for people they know or people they got hired by. That's basically the only reason that somebody does vigilantism in a society where vigilantism has been outlawed like ours is. But in reality, vigilantism can literally just be like neighborhood watch plus Second Amendment.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't. I wouldn't necessarily see that as vigilantism, though. But,
Not directly, but I mean,
I
the
guess,
person sees it happening and they're the one who interact.
yeah,
They're the one who react. They're the one who address the problem. They call it in to, whatever group of people who like to keep watch, but it's all voluntary. It's not paid for by some fucked up system where they beat the shit out of innocent people to get that money. And it's just done by the citizens who want to protect themselves because people want to fucking protect themselves and their own homes, and that extends more than just their own personal abode, their home being their entire neighborhood, city, town, whatever level of granularity they care about.
yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't see community protection as vigilantism, maybe, but also, yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
vigilantism in the broad term of citizens protecting them, going out of their way to protect themselves and thwart crime on their own,
Yeah,
and protect their city of their own accord instead of relying on paid government actors to do it for them. If we're going to have a successful anarchist society, that's a big fucking meme, just to put out in fucking words in the fucking get-go. But by society, it's just people interacting with each other. If that's going to have any success at any level, you're going to have people who get together and are willing to work together to solve problems, because there's not a way to eliminate the existence or the power of psychopaths without then wronging everyone else who's not done a single thing wrong.
well, that's true, but also those sorts of people are, I think, probably less likely to be able to have any control over your life without like a state apparatus of some sort.
Exactly.
Like, um, I mean, yeah, there's just uh, there are people who I would, just to a greater or lesser extent, would say are just objectively shitty people.
Hmm.
Um, that's not
Me.
that's not many.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
Hmm.
no, but
Oh, he says yeah. I said me when you said shitty people, and you said
yeah,
yeah.
no,
I'm joking.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Um, I think that those people are way more likely to have actual control over your life because of an apparatus which allows them to be a cop or a prison guard
Yes,
or
exactly.
a priest or
It's a
what a
responsibility that
teacher.
has been, yeah, teachers too, priests, any authority figure in any position on a certain level. I mean, unless you have like obvious credentials, like there's just a certain level of bowing under somebody. Like, I know dudes have been working a job for 70 years who fucking answer to a 30-year-old manager or a 25-year-old manager. Like, dude, what are you doing? You're like weeks from retirement. How did you not accelerate whatsoever? Like, and it's the same mentality. These are the same like weak-minded mindsets that have been increasing among people. People have lost their ability to be self sufficient, they've lost their desire to be self sufficient. They've lost the desire to protect themselves, and what they've done is they've given all these responsibilities that used to belong to the home and given them to the government. And sure, that's wonderful for comfort, but comfort isn't fucking good. Comfort is not necessarily good whatsoever. In fact, comfort can often be very necessarily damaging. It can fuck if you get used to comfort, any sort of discomfort can shut you down. If you're not used to discomfort, fucking any amount of discomfort you feel will make you not want to go forward. It'll make you hesitate. It'll make you slow. It'll weaken you.
Well,
There's an addiction to comfort that we've got.
it makes you docile,
Yeah,
and
complacent.
it tames you.
Tame, yeah.
So that's really,
Domesticates you.
it
Return to
domesticates
monk.
you. Well, no, but I mean, it's like, it's true though.
Yeah.
And it's like, on a level, the greater your participation in, the capitalist system, or whatever you would prefer to call it. I think that's relatively apt.
Yeah.
Um, the more tame you are, the more you have to lose, the more you become just a part of it. Um, Whether that's having kids or buying property, and it's each step along the way makes sense for you to better yourself, but it just tethers you to it.
Yes.
Um,
And
and it
in the
tethers you
system,
to the domestication.
yeah. In the system it makes sense to better yourself, but in the long run it might not. Like, so
No.
I've worked in sales, and in sales there's a lot of times where you have to just tell somebody, hey, this is going to make your life better in this way, this way, this way, and this way. But you might be wrong in 70 other ways. That person might not be able to fucking pay for that. They're going to come back in a week and get a refund anyway, but I mean, you got the unit out, so uh fucking whatever. And that's the problem. You got the unit out, so fucking whatever.
Yeah.
The big mitigating factor here, in my opinion, is comfort. It really is, because comfort and hope on a certain level, they both destroy you. They make you inactive in the moment, and I mean that. And these
Yeah,
people
yeah, dude.
think,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that kind of ties into like the whole fucking time preference shit, where, like, fucking libertarians and like ANCAP, especially like Hoppians, will like put this kind of, like a moral judgment, like a moral, it's morally good to be low time preference. It's like,
could
no,
could you
all that does
explain
is
time
make you a fucking,
preference?
oh god. You have to, I was like, no, so low time preference would be preferring to play the long game, to invest
Yes.
in things, to do things that will pay off long term. Which, there's certainly always a time and place for that,
Yeah. Highly
but
conscientious strategy.
they will make this kind of moral judgment about, I guess, people like poor people say, are they're poor
Hmm.
because they have high time preference. They can't see the big picture. It's like, or they're just fucking, every day is a struggle. They don't have time for this shit. Like, they don't
Exactly.
but yeah, I mean, there's I would say that on a level, that low time preference is taming as well. Um
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know. It's
It's
domesticating.
disarming. Yeah, domesticating, disarming,
Uh
pussifying, fucking.
like, you're not willing to put your life on the line or whatever, if, despite all the bad shit is going on, like, you have, uh I don't know, man, fuck. It's like, you have a big business deal tomorrow. You're not going to go to the riot.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Um
You're not gonna play you're not gonna go online and harass that fucking
yeah.
harass that guy with the thin blue stripe photo. You're too busy fucking working your 9 to 5 to harass that guy.
your Sigma grind set or whatever the fuck.
Sigma
I don't know.
grunts.
I am a broke loser personally. I will probably I will die a broke loser.
Well, that's because you
And
spend all of your money on fucking cases upon cases upon cases of AK-47 ammo.
that's, I kind of have stopped doing that. Now I mostly spend my money going to Nashville and like drinking with Ali.
Nice,
So
nice.
yeah,
So,
that's cool. But yeah,
wow.
and I mean, part of that to me, it's like, why does it fucking matter? Like, if things are as dire as the libertarians say about our national debt and shit like that, I mean, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I don't
They're
think that you're going
certainly
to win
not
anyone
wrong.
over by saying that, and I certainly don't think it's fixable. I do agree with them on that.
Hmm.
That is the case. It's just
It is a broken system
it's
in and of
beyond
itself.
repair.
Yeah.
So to me, I might as well enjoy the fucking last hurrah of fucking America and get drunk as fuck on Broadway. So
There you go.
yeah,
So after SHTF scenario takes place, hypothetical, whatever, Boogaloo, fucking Big Igloo Boys, fucking ATF crackdown, Antifa goes crazy, whatever happens, Trump takes his form as God Emperor from Warhammer 40k, as the Q-tards have predicted.
yeah,
Whatever occurs, it happens. What do you think is going to go down? How do you think it's going to go down? And most importantly, how do you think it's going to divide at the end?
man. I don't think there's any way to know that. I don't think there's any way to know any of that because
I mean, obviously,
it,
but like,
I
what do
mean,
you
not to
think?
give you like a shitty cop out answer, but it's like just there's so many fucking factors about
Yes.
I do think that inevitably America will fall.
Yeah.
Now, what that means, I couldn't tell you. That would depend on what's going on in the rest of the world.
Yeah. Rome
If
fell, but I mean, Italy's still there, and all the Rome
yeah,
is still a city.
well,
So
what I mean is like as we kind of push forward in technology and domestication, right? Um, each collapse is going to be felt much more harshly.
yes.
So like stop, when Rome stopped sending you wine and shit, whatever the fuck you got from Rome, um, that sucked, but they also weren't collecting taxes anymore, and not that much of your life changed, really. Not from
Yeah.
day to day, not from generation to generation. Now, if you were in a city sacked by barbarians, that's different. That sucks for you, right?
Yeah.
But like for most people, they probably didn't really feel it. Um, but the more dependent we are on technology, the more a collapse in it will be just like devastating.
Yes. I
Um,
do think one thing that no matter what happens, I don't think the level of knowledge we've attained at this point is going to disappear like previous technology did. For example, when knowledge from the Library of Alexandria was lost. Knowledge
yeah,
isn't quite as decentralized or as centralized as it was back then. It's
it's not, but
extremely
even then,
broad.
I mean, so much wasn't lost.
Yeah, yeah. There are a
Like
lot of
think,
like maps,
I mean,
fucking
mad shit was
technology.
lost, sure,
Yeah.
but yeah. And then yeah, that would be the case now. Like, even if every firearms fucking plant was inoperational,
Mhm.
um, and there was even 100 years, 200 years, 500 year period of chaos, right?
Mhm.
People would make guns again.
Exactly.
People would be making guns small scale the whole time.
That's the main thing. People making guns small scale. That's never going to stop because the technology is now known, and there are two types of technologies that never ever seem to leave the consciousness, and that is weapons technology and food technology.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, food technology can become either no longer useful or no longer sustainable. But yeah,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say that you're probably correct.
Even if it becomes unsustainable, the principles that go into it are a level of
Yeah,
engineering that's going to
yeah,
always be
yeah.
used.
I was watching a bunch of shit like recently about like fucking this like pre-Inca empire in the Andes.
Hmm.
Uh, God, Tiwanaku probably I think was the
Hmm.
name. But yeah, it's like they're fucking like the main uh like Lake Titicaca like basin where their agriculture was based on. I mean, their culture was based on originally. Like there was just a drought for like 200 years.
The
And so like
Tiwanacoca,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the Tiwanaku Empire,
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
pre-Columbian. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean there
I
was just
need a
like a couple hundred
Jamie.
year drought and like there's nothing you could do about that. And like yeah, I guess I imagine now we would try to import food or but you know, so what I'm saying is like yeah, they had amazing technology that allowed them to settle this like kind of shitty like mountainous land or it's like
Hmm.
super arid. But
Yeah, very dry, very high altitude. They were still able to do it and maintain a food supply without having to have crazy transportation.
yeah. But yeah, then there there was a multi-generational drought and it just, their whole fucking shit collapsed.
Yeah,
So I
it's
mean, you can have all the tech in the world and that doesn't mean that what you're doing today is going to work tomorrow.
yeah, that's exactly right.
Luckily.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all things should pass eventually because all things become corrupt over time. People say that money corrupts and power corrupts, but the most corrupting thing of all is time itself, in my opinion. Just simply the longer you're fucking around, the more wily you get to fucking learn how to live. The more
Yeah.
you learn how to fuck people over, the more you learn how you've been fucked over, the more you realize how you can take those ways that you've been fucked over and fuck over other people. It's the first time you're lied to is the first time you realize, hey, wait a second, I could fucking go lie to people myself, can't I?
Or it's at least in the playbook, yeah.
Exactly. As things go into your playbook, they become part of the playbook. Whether they become a thing you want to use frequently or not, once you learn them, they're in there. They become a valid strategy in your brain. And that's no bueno when you get into a position of power, which brings me back to our topic. So, what do you think should we do with people like this, these thin blue snake types? What do you think is the best way to treat them? Personally, I like the idea of socially deriding them until they feel too embarrassed of themselves to continue embarrassing everyone around them. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, mockery is the only like
It's magic.
conscionable fucking I don't know, man. It's like I'm not gonna yeah, I don't know. Like I'm not trying to like fucking round up fucking people who support the cops and shoot them or
What should
something.
we do with them, sir?
Yeah, I mean there's no we, I guess,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
personally, um, yeah, they should be mocked and
Mocked, mockery.
yeah,
What
and
do you want to say to these people as a whole? Like what do you think is the ideal message to give to these people who don't understand that if anyone's going to be taking your fucking guns, it's going to be the cops.
fuck off and die. Yeah, I mean.
Eloquent. Eloquently spoken. Couldn't have said it better myself.
I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, there's not much else to say to them.
Yeah. Do you think that there's any helping them or helping them see the other side? I mean, we both see Ace out there always fucking fighting the good fight, however hopeless it seems sometimes. He sometimes manages to pull him over, so
Yeah, occasionally. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
How
Yeah.
many of them seem like they're worth it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. And it's not that they're not worth it. It's that it's not fucking worth my time.
Yeah,
um
yeah, of course.
and yeah, I feel like the success rate of this endeavor is low. And respect to Ace if he happens to hear this. Like, solid dude. As long as he's enjoying what he's doing, great. But
Yeah,
I'm not sure how helpful it is.
yeah. I join them occasionally for them. Personally, I like the Christian arguments. I'm sure you've seen.
Oh god, yeah, that guy recently was absurd too. I know what you're talking about.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that
I got into
recent
that one a
dude,
little bit. Yo,
the
I'm gonna
fucking pagan hero Tradcath guy.
yeah, the pagan hero, Hellenic pagan hero statue, Tradcath Zoomer Wignat. Yeah. Yo, hold on. I'm grabbing a
There's
beer, which
never
will take me literally 15 seconds. I'll be right back.
While Tettsui grabs a beer, I want to thank all of you for listening to the I Hate the Antichrist podcast. This is the first episode, so it's been a long time coming. I've been waiting to do this for quite a while, so I'm glad I've been able to finally get it done. That being said, at the same time as this is going up, my website is also getting updated. You're now able to make 3D print orders there, so if you would like to make any orders for 3D printed items, please visit oeui.live and use the message box in the corner to contact me. Thank you. Back to the show.
Zero tolerance for Zoomer Wignats.
Yeah, absolutely none. I mean, what reason is there to be? Like, they think. What are you acting like? You're from fucking 493 BC, dude? Get the fuck out of here. Like, have you ever been a Roman Stoic? Have you
Hell
ever
no.
seen a
The motherfucker.
motherfucker run through with a pilum?
We know you masturbate to Mikasa from Attack on Titan. All right, like we know. You're not. You cannot fucking lie about this. You can't front. Everyone knows. Okay. And yeah, they're fucking positing that they're some sort of fucking bastion of the West and what it means to. I don't know, man. Like it's so absurd. It's hard to fucking yeah. They're just
Like,
complete bullshit.
my
It's
favorite are the ones that think they're being Christian when they're saying to preserve this culture which came from the world. Like, dude,
yeah,
did you not read fucking Ephesians? Learn for yourself what is right, is what is fucking written by Paul himself.
yeah.
Like, fucking, you're not
No,
a
the
fucking
only thing
Christian,
Paul ever
dude.
wrote that matters is Romans 13.
He wrote a lot of really good shit. His letter to
No,
the
no, yeah.
Ephesians, I don't know if you've read it
Oh
since
no,
the
I've
whole.
I've read the whole Bible like several times.
I mean, like, since you like
Not
went
lately.
full anarchist. Oh, dude,
No.
you fucking love it. He tells people, I got thrown in here for bullshit. Y'all are bullshit for throwing me in here. This is why you're sinners. I broke no rabbinic law. I only broke Roman law. He fucking goes on a big rant about why they're fucking losers for locking him up. What's gonna happen to them if they continue down their idiot fucking route. It's fucking great. Ephesians is a great one. One of my fucking favorites. Absolute
I will.
fucking Chad, that man.
Well, I will try to remember to check that out again sometime
Yeah,
soon.
Ephesians is very powerful. Let's see here. Is there anything you'd like to say to the kids at home? Since you don't have a Twitter right now, are there any banger tweets you want to throw in at the end of this in the podcast?
uh, no, I don't know.
Oh shit, no content. Fuck.
No, no. Well, I found out today that my account was suspended as I went to post that all I've been doing lately is like looking at graffiti on Instagram
Mhm.
and like I have that itch again, but I'm a boomer. Yeah, that's it. That's all I've got.
You could go full Jet Set Radio, get yourself a fucking team of bunch of Zoomer rollerbladers, Go fuck around town, grind on rails, tag shit, knock over cops, add fucking
That game's kind
rocket
of fun.
nozzles. Dude, that game's fun as fuck.
I never played that
Um,
until Steam. Like I haven't
oh,
like it was
dude,
like $5 on Steam or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm gonna check this out.
if you think Jet Set Radio is good, you should wait until fucking Jet Set Radio Future gets a re-release. It's controls so much better. The graffiti's actually like fun instead of stopping the flow of the gameplay. Because like in Jet Set Radio, when you go to spray paint, you like go up to the spot, you stop, you like do some breakdance moves, you spray another spot, and you have like 3 levels, and you have the guys chasing you. In Jet Set Radio Future, it's more open world. You just kind of have to hit the spot and spray by it. It's a
Okay.
lot faster paced. It's a lot more fun. You have to keep up your momentum with the tricks more. I Jet Set Radio Future is fucking awesome. So if and when that hopefully comes out as a remake, I'm gonna fucking be all over that. I hope it's soon. I don't know if it will be because it was a fucking Microsoft game. So
uh,
at least in the U.S. Well, actually, no, it was Sega. It was Sega. Sega's
yeah.
is
I was like, wait,
Dreamcast.
that's a Sega franchise. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I
Yeah.
only played the first one a little bit. Yeah, I mean it was an interesting game at least. I just
Yeah.
am yeah, I don't want to run from cops again,
Yeah.
preferably in my life.
Yeah,
Like
not IRL at least. Maybe in
yeah.
GTA. Maybe we'll sit here and totally not encourage other people to do so.
Yeah, I'm getting old, man.
Hashtag
Like
don't shut us down. First episode, I already got banned.
it's like yeah, if any of the like early 20s dudes who are following me on Twitter think I'm correct about the world and like want to do something about it, great. I'm old.
Tettsui gets elected fucking president of Anarchistan
Yeah,
in 20 years. How the
president of
fuck did it
anarchy.
get this here? President of Anarchy, Tettsui.
Yeah,
That
the
should be
C
your fucking new handle.
the CEO of anarchy. The godfather of anarchy.
Yes, the chief of the Anarchy Police.
Yeah.
Uh, so if you could say one thing to these thin blue line slash Gadsden mixers that you think would help them see our point and understand it, if you could say like one general idea, what would that idea be? Like that wouldn't it'll put our point of view across with in a full way on its own. Just go for it.
All right. So first off, I would tell them that I fucked their dad. And if that didn't work, then I would send him a picture of Unicorn Daddy's ass. Uh, yeah, no, there's I wouldn't attempt that, man. I mean, you can tell them that the cops would be the ones to take the guns. You can point out all the horrible and just heinous shit cops do in places that they don't have to see it.
Hmm, hmm.
They don't care, man. Because it kind of comes down to as long as their like rural community is fine and their local sheriffs or whatever are people they know and they get to keep their guns and feel like they're safe, then that's all they want. And they don't care and they don't want to know about what else is happening
Yeah.
in this country and that this country is doing in the world to sustain that lifestyle for them. They will militantly oppose you and accuse you of being a leftist, a liberal, fucking you're pushing
Whatever they
critical race
aren't.
theory, you're a moral relativist, whatever the fuck. If you try to point out that their whole thing is hypocritical bullshit and that lifestyle, which hey, I'm great. You have this idyllic lifestyle in BFE, fucking uh, Tennessee or whatever, right?
Hmm.
Fucking even BFE Virginia, like not too far from me. Um, like cool. I'm glad that your life is good. you're happy and shit. But it's like your entire lifestyle, like the fact that you can go to Walmart and get whatever the fuck you want, all this shit, it's all the same thing, man. And they're not self-reliant anymore either. Like they
No.
100% depend on Walmart. They 100%
Yeah.
depend on fucking whatever the closest hospital is. Like
How many farmers today know how to actually till a field by hand
uh
instead of with a fucking machine
in
tiller?
the world, like probably a couple billion, but here, like none.
Yeah, here exactly.
Yeah,
Here in the West, absolutely fucking none.
maybe
Um,
10,
yeah.
20. I don't know, probably a few hundred, man, but like not
People
many.
who have happened to be lucky enough to have cows to
Yeah.
pull the fucking plow. That's really about it. It's people are so reliant on technology and each other. It's
Well,
insane. There's
being reliant on technology and each other aren't fundamentally bad things
no,
necessarily.
but there's a
It
degree. There's a level of degree where it's way too much, where you've gone so disconnected from the source. It used to be that somebody who understood how to work metal and was a blacksmith would understand how to prospect for ore, how to break it from its fucking rock and its earthen home, how to smelt it down into the slag, how to fucking work the slag into a billet, how to work that billet into a shaped piece of steel. You had to know every step of the process. Nowadays, you go to metalsdepot.com and spend $30, and in about 2 days, you have a perfect 2x4 sheet of W2 steel or
yeah.
whatever you're trying to buy.
Well, yeah, I mean, so that yeah, I mean, you're just complaining about like specialization though,
I'm not
which
complaining about it.
I mean,
it's
I get your argument. I
specialization
don't even
isn't
necessarily
bad.
think you're wrong,
People
but
should have the skill to overcome lack of specialization, and that should be decentralized to a huge degree.
well, that might be coming whether anyone
Yeah,
wants it or not.
yeah, exactly. That's why I'm
I
saying
mean,
prep.
it's just like okay, earlier you'd asked like what it might look like if whatever sort of social
Yeah,
collapse type scenario happened. In the short term, I can't tell you. I don't know, and
obviously, yeah.
I don't know what the divisions would be. I don't know who the main players would even be. I don't know who the foreign powers involved would necessarily be because
Mhm.
that all depends on what's happening for them. But I can tell you what it would look like after a few generations,
Yeah,
which would
sure, go
be
ahead.
um, it's just like after the collapse of the Roman state, people went on making buildings and shit that were pretty similar. The difference is they weren't quarrying marble. They were using
Yes,
marble from rubble.
yes,
You see what I'm
exactly.
saying? Um, so it's like the
They were
style,
parasitizing
even
the
just
corpse.
right, yeah, to some extent the scale, the style, all of that shit of the construction happening in the generations after the collapse of the Roman state, which was it was gradual and in stages.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean they just kind of looted what they could from the corpse of that society to kind of to some extent carry on in the same mold, and that would happen. I don't know, like, but the difference, it's like yeah, no one would the entire resource and commodity distribution network would be gone.
yeah, absolutely. I
So
think that a basic one would prop up in its place fairly quickly. And it would prop up in a few. I think, in my opinion, there's going to be 3 to 5 nations that come out of a U.S. break.
it could be
And
way more than
anywhere from
that.
3 to 5. Oh yeah, it could be way more than
It
that.
also depends
Absolutely.
on what
But
the situation is, man. I don't know. I
yeah,
know people love to have these like balkanization theories. This is all so
I think it's more going to be a
speculative.
territorial dispute. You're going to see companies move to certain areas as certain laws change, and you're going to see cultural lines change. I think you're going to see a big arch that like starts at Florida, goes north, and then around Virginia and West Virginia, and then cuts south down to Texas, and that's going to kind of cut off from the north and the west. Um, my thing is I don't know. What I don't understand is how China, the way there's always foreign powers that will pump in money or pump in weapons or just assist one side here and there during any sort of revolution. And I'm sure I'm 100% China's going to pick a side, and the
Well,
side
there
they
may not
pick is
be.
going to decide how many different countries fucking form after this.
Yeah, I don't know. There's just no way to know these things. I don't
Yeah.
personally spend a lot of time thinking about it. I mean, if somebody wants to, great. Just yeah, you're just not gonna get that much insight on this from me. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, what I'll tell you my fantasy. My fantasy is that the entirety of the Appalachians, the Rockies, and the Olympic forests, which is basically the entirety of the Pacific Northwest, and it's a continuous area you can travel throughout that is going to become one giant, uncontrollable, unassailable land of inner woods. And everyone there is going to have guns. They're not going to see each other too often, but they'll get together. They'll have little get togethers. They'll be like the olden times. People live maybe a mile or
Like
two
a
apart.
county fair or a medieval
Yeah.
type fair.
Kinda, yeah. But a
See, I
big
mean,
fucking
also
3,000 mile wide.
so much of this depends on how many people make it, what things
Yeah.
are like, because in the event of actual like supply line collapse, right? Like millions of people are gonna die.
Yep.
But does that mean 200 million or five?
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's a huge difference in that. You know what I mean?
Is it going to leave this country destitute or just injured?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel where you're coming. Well, w- when the collapse does absolutely definitely occur, do you want it to occur sooner or later? And we'll leave on this note.
um.
It's a fucked up note to think about.
No, I mean I don't want either.
Me
I
either.
guess
It
I
sounds
have no.
fucking
I'm
terrifying.
kind of morally ambivalent.
Hmm.
Like it's not something that I necessarily want to live through. I used to think that I did, or it'd be fun or something. And there's like younger dudes who still feel that way, and I think that they're probably retarded. Like it's not gonna be fun for fucking anyone.
Yeah.
Like it's just that's just not what this is. But
On on a
I
certain
do
level, it'll
think
be
perhaps it'd
exciting.
be better if it occurred sooner than later because it just goes back to what I was saying earlier that the longer we go on in this kind of superficial comfort, um, the harder that fall will be. That
Yes,
might be the difference
exactly.
between 5 million deaths and 200 million deaths is how
That's what
soon
I'm
it happens.
thinking. That's what I'm thinking is that sooner would be better than later. That doesn't mean I'm an accelerationist. I'm actually anti-accelerationist personally. I don't think going out of your way to accelerate it is the right thing.
I don't know. I don't
However,
know that
I
it is
do
or
think,
isn't, but
yeah,
yeah.
it is
Sorry.
personal. I don't think like going out of your way to push it is the right thing. But I do think that there are a lot of people who think they're ready for what's going to happen when it comes, but they are not ready. The longer it is before it comes, the more awful it's going to be because the more technology is going to exist to hunt down people and find them. And that is going to be used by whatever side wants to. And it's never going to be the side you want. Never going to be the side you want no matter who you are. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah.
Well,
Not gonna be
um
fun. Whatever the
yeah.
case.
So um fuck the Antichrist. I hate
Yeah,
the
true.
Antichrist. These thin blue snakes are part of the body of the Antichrist. Um, they wish to remove the ability of one to defend oneself, um, just because they're not you specifically, just because they don't have the gun you want them to have, just because they don't have the lifestyle you want them to have. You're part of the body of the Antichrist if you want to take that from them, because just
Or
because you're into
if
selfish bullshit.
if you're like, no, my sheriff said he's not going to enforce it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, cool, good for
that
you.
you,
Do something
yeah,
for the fucking rest of us, asshole. Like,
yeah, but they won't.
they'll never will. And that's why it's just the gun control is just going to continue to grow and encroach closer and closer to their home. And eventually it'll get them. And they won't be able to have the gun they want anymore, or they won't be able to have the gun on the land they own
Yeah,
anymore. And they'll either have to give up
fucking
everything and move, or give up their guns and their freedom.
state control is the snake. It's not you.
Yes. Yep. That's the true snake in the thin blue snake, is
Yeah,
the state control. I think that's a beautiful note to end this on. Thank you very much for hopping on, Tet. Um,
yeah, man.
Last thing, are there any places that you want to advertise people to catch up with you on, or to hit you up?
Uh, sure. Yeah, yeah. So I am still on Instagram. At Tettsui77. Um, TETTSUI 77. For
All
now,
right.
that's like my only like social media I'm actually using. If and when I make a new Twitter, I will definitely announce it there though.
Okay.
So
Alrighty.
yeah,
And for everyone else, this is Aoeui. You probably got here from my Twitters. You probably don't need to hear my shit, but you can go to my website, oeui.live, or you can follow me on Twitter at oeui_live. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day. And I hate the Antichrist.
yep.